So what makes this environment more positive? If you were sharing with a young dentist about what to look for in a positive
Yeah, I mean, I 100% trust the other doctor I'm working with.
That's important.
I know that the value of his dentistry is good, and I know that he has the patient's best interest at heart. I know that he wants, comprehensive care for people. We're like on the same level when it comes to dentistry. And then he has trained his support staff so well that the assistants know everything. The front desk knows everything. It's like a well-oiled machine, if you will.
And as you see, like this restaurant is a perfect example, and you're talking about your current place. I'm not even sure of this answer. Were you alone at your previous place ever? Or right, so that
Like 90% of the time.
Right, so like you're a young dentist, young chef, and you have a seasoned chef, to just say, like you said to me, is this normal?
Yeah.
And you can text me about a job, but it's nice to just be able to walk down the hall,
Right.
or walk in a room, get away from the patients, and just say,
Absolutely.
hey, is this a normal thing to have someone? And that's just a
Absolutely.
priceless thing. What's interesting, probably in your world, Billy has this more, is dentists, we don't talk enough about how valuable that first few years of training is, and it's not about money. It wouldn't matter if you made $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, because the rest of your career gets dictated by that. And sometimes I know it's tough when dentists have loans, and it wasn't necessarily your scenario, but they see this glowing number they're going to make. And there's not something totally right about that. So I appreciate you sharing. What are some words you would have for young dentists if they were in your shoes as a resident, looking for jobs, evaluating jobs, thinking about stuff? What are some words of
Well,
wisdom
before
you
the resident thing, if you're thinking about doing a residency, absolutely do it.
I agree.
Like, I always had the mentality like, okay, so I'm going to take a pay cut to do a residency. What could I use that money to then do CE while I'm in private practice and it even out? Not the same.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that.
Not even at all the same.
Because you're practicing on people,
Yes.
and a bigger, stronger dentist is watching you,
Right.
place an implant, do a filling. It could just be even talk to a patient, and you get to walk out just like a hospital residency, and the patients know that's normal. And in private practice, they don't tolerate that.
Right.
So I think that's a really good
Yes.
message
So
about
if
doing a
you're
residency.
thinking about going to residency, do it. Step one.
You're in a residency, and I totally get it. And you've been in dental school. Now you're looking for a job, and even though people think I'm a good resource for the owner part, but I'm not looking for a job. So share what are some red flags you see, or even just good things they should focus on.
I definitely think that going to events like this, and like you said, CEs in general are very valuable. Because after I found my new job, funny enough, I went to a couple of your events and met people that were looking for jobs.
Right.
And I was like, well, I just signed, so
Yeah.
so close.
Yeah.
But it's like good to do that kind of stuff because you can meet people in person and kind of do a pre-interview in a normal setting where you're not freaked out. So that's very valuable. When you're going through the interview, do as many interviews as you can.
Totally. Well, as many dates
I
as
went to
possible.
one, exactly. I went to one where as soon as I walked in, I knew I wasn't going to like it just because the air of the place was not good. But I still sat there, talked to them, pretended like I really wanted the job because I was practicing my skills, trying to interview, learning what I do and don't like about a practice so that I can practice enough that when the good one comes around, I've done it a few times.
And it's such a good point because we have two small humans that live in our house. So if you want to practice, you want to come over and say, here's our small human, see what she's like for a while. And dentists don't get to see dental offices, so it's just great to be inside another one.
Yeah.
And just like a date you had that wasn't so well, didn't go so well, doesn't mean it's not a good experience to know what you want and don't want. So going as many dentist dates as possible is key. And also, I know you two have found your soulmates, right? You both love this pizza. You probably love the same TV shows, but there are other people who have not found their soulmates that you know, right? And you know, because you guys are young. And they say, oh, you know these single guys, you know these single girls. Same deal with dentists. Like, that's the value of going to a course. You're talking to someone who has an associate, but his best friend doesn't have an associate and has no meaningful way to meet anyone. So, I appreciate you sharing, Stephanie. You did an
Yeah.
awesome job. High five. I'll stop saying I told you so, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
Thanks,
one
Billy.
day.
Living with the dentist is tough. It is not easy. My wife is here. She lives with me. It's not easy. So we feel for you. We'll get you some to-go pizza. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for sharing that. That was awesome.